You gotta pull that double trigger.
Okay. What are you talking about? It looks like our stream was ended. Our stream, what?
But it looks like we are live.
Oh, it's on. It's on. Do me a favor. Go check. I think it's the Rumble. Something. Maybe I've dated him wrong or something.
I'll check in here real quick, then I'll go over to Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm seeing all three of them up there. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, while he's doing that, I'm gonna kick in some music for y'all to listen to. Not so much Christmas music as other music, but we'll play a lot of Christmas music. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure we got a strike over Christmas music. It's yes. Well, some third party stuff. YouTube got offended or something we did. No, I'm not even hating on YouTube. It sounds like something that we had a lot of stuff going on at night, so it just sounds like something got caught up or missed. And they said they sent this thing, but we didn't see it till after the fact. So it's
everything looks good on this end. Let me go check out Rumble.
Yeah. So anyway, Mark, we're going to play a little music, and we'll be back after a couple of promos and some music, and we'll get to talking about how come Santa Claus likes astronauts. Yes, it is serious. Yes. Okay. We'll be right back, guys. Well, he does like astronauts. That's not my fault. I didn't say, hey, do you prefer astronauts? Maybe because he flies in space in a sleigh. You know, that's the only way he can make the whole planet as fast as he does by going into space. Well, we did.
Joe, can you hear me? I'm on the JoJo Mon one. It just says use template for this show. Undercover, why Mercury Gemini, blah blah blah, Santa Claus.
I wonder what.
All right, guys, 10 seconds long.
It's got to be a time issue thing. Let me stick some music on. We'll go both look on.
Let me keep Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated, let's start this conversation. Start this conversation. We got no relation.
What if your holidays are more haunted than you think? On Beneath the Hollow Moon, we're playing a haunted holiday quick fire round. Krampus at the door, ghosts at the dinner table, and ornaments that move on their own. Join us for the haunted holiday quick fire round and see just how spooky your season really is.
It's bloody Christmas time, man. I mean, never do it spooky about Christmas time. No. Welcome back, everyone. We've been having weird, strange, glitchy kind of thingies going on tonight, but let me find the camera here. Oh, there we are. Hello.
Oh, no. Turn it back off.
She's trying to scare y'all out there.
It worked.
Everybody. Hey, Heidi, what you doing? It's Roscoe. Who's Roscoe, man? Roscoe Rapier. Okay, sorry. It's a little weird name, Roscoe Rapier. What do you think? You're on one of those sci-fi movies from back in the day? What were the rapiers in? What was that one? That was a video game, actually. Then it was a movie. Yes. I can't remember. It's with the lion people in it. I can't think of the name of it. Yes. It was one of the very first ones where you got to jump your spaceship all around places. And yes. There were a lot of them good games back in the day that got more sophisticated. And then people started getting into the first player shooter games. Kind of boring.
The very first video game we ever had for home use was Pong. And it was, it was black and white. And it was just basically like, tennis or ping pong on the TV screen. And took a while to master it, but it was the most basic of basic things.
It's, Pong was just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's right. It got boring fast. And then they added one where you could play with 4 players. So you had 4 paddles with the little turning knobs on them to play Pong with.
Oh, then they made hockey. Clink, 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 clink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you talking air hockey or video hockey?
No, I'm talking about the little video game right after Pong. It was just Pong. It had a little thing you had to go through. and you had to hit it and bounce it, and if you went past the side, you were out.
We never had that, but I do remember it.
Well, no, James, they had one that was just, they had one on each end. It was like a hockey field, and it was just like playing Pong, except you had to get it through the hole. Yes.
It's more like air video hockey.
It's
Video air hockey.
I played air hockey in so many different size tables, it's not even funny. There was one in we were in the Houston Mall for Christmas. This got like 35 years ago. You could sit on the pucks and ride around. Knock you. I'm serious. You could sit on the puck. It was
I came to find out that there are different tables in billiards.
Oh yeah,
and they're all proportional. And the smallest billiard table you can get is I think for legal or for professional, like a actual professional game, is 3 by 6, 3 foot wide by 6 foot long is the smallest table. But they have a table that's 6 feet wide and 12 feet long, and they call it a snooker table. And I've never played the game, but essentially what happens is on the snooker table you have 15 red balls, and the first player breaks those 15 red balls with a break shot, and then the referee comes in with 5 differently colored balls. I think it's like black, brown, blue, red, and yellow, and there are marks on the table where he puts these other 5 balls, and what you have to do is knock in a red ball, knock in a colored ball, knock in a red ball, knock in a colored ball, and the first player to knock all the things in with the most points win. It seems like a really cool game.
Jeffrey,
never played
it. Pool was boring unless I was drunk.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, almost every bar I went to had a 3 foot wide by 6 foot long table. Most of them were like 75 cents or $1.25 or $1.50 quarters to play it.
Yeah,
the place I hung out in Savannah, and Jim Collins, our table was and always was 50 cents. Yeah, well, everybody played, 10, 15 games a night. I actually went to a pool tournament. I entered a pool tournament at a bar in Savannah, Georgia. I forget the name of the bar. And out of like 40 participants, I came in second.
It's a lot of fun. But no, I like to be drunk when I'm playing pool. Yes, Jesse. It's a thing,
I think it improves my game. Because I can play very well when I'm sober, but I can pull off shots that I can't even see when I'm sober if I have a couple of beers in me.
It's well, see, I grew up. My family, we owned a couple of clubs growing up, and all of them had tables then. But when I went to pinball, if you won, you didn't get a credit; you got a quarterback. Yeah, it gave you money back. Yes, it gave you money. They paid you, and if you got sometimes you went up to $3 or $4, like the first slot machines for kids, man. Because I get on that. So we had one at the pizza joint we owned, and then we had a couple at some clubs we owned. Yeah, it was, and then the pool tables were 25 cents, and all of a sudden they jumped to 50, and they stayed at 50 cents until we got out of the business. I imagine you can still find some 50 cents. Most places today are $1 though. Yeah, it's $1 to play a game of pool. Well, pool can go as fast or as long as you want it, or as your competition. Just think of every little pool thing as a UFO. There you go. It's I know one of the Rumble pages, one of them on for sure. I've seen the one on UFO Paranormal is definitely on.
Okay, so and Joe Jimon was on too. It said the live stream. I was just hoping there was someone in the chat room who was watching from Rumble who could say, "Yeah, we can see it."
Well, for some reason the chat doesn't work right on Rumble. I had quite a few people complain. Let's see, UFO Paranormal, but that's YouTube. They're on there. What is that, Stephanie? So the reason I put that up there. So what do you mean Mercury and Gemini? So Mercury and Gemini were before Apollo. These were just programs. So one was just very small. They just stuffed a guy in a capsule, lit the damn thing with a fuse, just like a rocket, and sent his ass into space. No, I'm not kidding you. I mean, it was like, yeah, okay. They had rules. You couldn't even be, you had to be like 5'7" or 5'9" for a lot of them. You couldn't even, if you were any taller than that. Well, then those regulations stayed in place until recent times. Yeah, when I was in the Navy.
Wasn't that the maximum height for a submariner was 5'9"?
Yeah, and when I was in the Navy, 5'9", 5'10" is the bunks were made. That's as big as they were.
Well, it wasn't necessarily so much about the bunks, which is a concern. There, some if you're 5'10" or longer, you're longer than the bunk. But the portals in the bulkheads, the metal portals are 5'9".
You got to step and duck. You could be 5'3", still got to step and duck.
Well, the concern was you're closer to the metal ceiling, so you can get hurt if you're taller. You can get hurt quicker if you're taller.
So, Jimmy, if you're in an aircraft carrier and you're running down a hallway, some of them are just hallways, and every so often there's a pressure door. They got regular doors for different rooms and stuff, but every so often there's a pressure door that seals the compartment. Yeah, because all ships and submarines are made in compartments, and that way they can take hits and still stay afloat.
Well, and to seal out water if water gets into that level, yes.
So we took a page out of one of the Russian books. Russia made this submarine that could take a torpedo hit and not penetrate it. I mean, a real torpedo hit. They lost the only prototype they had. Something happened in the front. They were in war games, and they were launching fake torpedoes. But somehow or another, one of the torpedoes in the front blew up, taking out the whole front of the damn ship. But all the pressure doors were sealed, but it wasn't enough air to get them back to the surface. Everybody was blocked off, but the ship was at the bottom. It just crashed into the bottom. But get this, there was no outward water coming in. This was from the flame and the heat from the torpedo inside the cabin. It had not escaped the submarine. Figure that one out. That's badass. That's a seriously built sub that can take an explosion that size, because there were secondary explosions in that hull from other torpedoes and other things that were in that area. I don't know. Christopher. Well, stuff like that. It's weird, but there's been times when we've had, like Rendlesham. I mean, not Rendlesham. What's the one up north? Shag Harbor.
Oh yeah,
Shag Harbor. There was U.S. submarines parked there for 2 days, watching 2 UFOs, one repair, another one, with people in the water. Now, when I say people in the water, I mean we had people in the water, but it had people in the water or things in the water.
The phenomenon had personnel on the ground, if you will.
Yeah. So
on the seafloor, they were on the seafloor. Yeah.
So in other disasters and other naval disasters, there have been UFOs sighted in areas that have seen, but sometimes those disasters may be because of something we were chasing after or trying to keep up with. Because I know, like the Nimitz, she still ain't retired yet, but they're going to retire sooner or later. She's way faster than what the official top speed is. That's all I'm going to say. So, and she can turn way sharper than you think for something as big as it is. You don't have to take my word for it. Go look at the Gerald Ford doing test procedures.
They can turn
like,
on a
that
dime.
Big monster can turn like that. Well, it's a combination of a lot of things is why now. In the old days they could, but today there's just different things. And
in a harbor, they couldn't probably pull off a maneuver like that, but out at sea, yeah.
So if you remember if you're a kid that's if you're 30 years or over, you would have seen tugboats parking ships in areas. They come alongside 2 or 3 of them, and they move them in and put them beside a dock and park them. Well, now they don't do that anymore because most of the newer ships side ports on them.
They have their own piloting stations.
So what you have is on top you'll have your forward thruster push you against the wall, move you out, and you just usually one in the front, one in the back, sometimes just one in the middle. But all these are as props. With an engine on it or connected to the engine, and it just pushes the in gently and pushes it out gently. If you ever want to watch
some smaller vessels like yachts, my grandfather had a Hatteras. I think it was a 50, 58, 59 foot sport fishing vessel from Hatteras manufacturers, and it had water jets as the pilot, and so you could kind of parallel park as you're going into a slip.
Well, these are kind of both, really. You got a prop, which is a thruster, and which is creating both. It's creating a water swirl, which is creating a jet that's pushing you in. But but it's not quite an impeller. It's a little different. But anyway, they use these things on big ships. So You can go watch like where some of the cruise ships where they're frequent, and you can watch them all day long going in and out, parking themselves. There's no tugs around, and there's like 10, 15 of them coming in at a time. Each one's good. They back in, they push in sideways. That's just not abilities ships had in World War II. Today, though, even our aircraft carriers have these things built on. So they can push around. No, Jackie, we don't have shield. Well, I don't know if we do. If we do, I haven't seen one. That's all I can tell you. If we've got a shield aircraft carrier somewhere, they're keeping it sucker.
According to Ben Rich and John Lear, the two of them both said nearly agreeable statements, different wordings, but essentially they said the same thing. If you've seen it, heard it, or watched it on any sci-fi TV show, book, novel, or story, we've probably already done it and printed the T-shirt for it. So shields are probably a strong yes. I know replicator type technology is something that is.
Oh well, no, he's talking about the aircraft carrier on the TV series Shield is what he's talking about.
Oh,
and it comes out the water and goes flying up into.
The helicarrier. Yeah, I didn't understand the question. The answer is no, we don't have one, but yes, the Navy is trying to develop one right now.
But I will tell you what we do have. No, we'll tell you what we do have, and this is a prelude to the jet carrier. We now have, get this, 2 of these. We have 2 aircraft carriers that carry drones in the sky. That's what they are. They're drone carriers, but they're designed like an aircraft carrier, so they can have a bunch come on or a bunch come off. These little ports that come up, and there's a top deck, and then they all can launch like 1,000 at a time. Little swarmers. Yeah, we have 2 of them. I know the Chinese has one too.
Little bastards. Who does?
China has one too. They have a drone carrier, and now drones. You're going to see as much attention paid to drones as weapons on board ships. Oh yeah, man, because you can swirl up 50,000 drones in the sky at one time. It's going to really screw some shit up.
So the thing about military technologies, it generally tends to start out as vague UFO stories, and then they become popular culture stories, and then they get declassified, and it usually takes somewhere between 25 and 35 years. The drone program we started in 1958, 59 with the SR-71 program. That's over 60 years now, and we're just starting to see this stuff come out into the limelight. So I guarantee you, there's drone stuff that is way, way, way more advanced than what we're seeing now.
Well, we talked about this. This was 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, when the swarm technology came out. When the guy who invented it came out. And everybody was like, wow, so this guy invented this swarm technology, which is great. That's why you can see dragons in the sky and all kind of other wonderful stuff. And everybody said the same thing. Why would the military allow that to be made public? I mean, that's seriously advanced technology.
They can work in concert on something, of course.
So what else they got? Oh no, Kim, they can knock these things down now. They got these things that look like a clam, and it just shimmers, and it's something between an EMP and a sound burst. But whatever it is, I ain't seen a drone yet that can get through it. If it's not a shielded drone, it's not getting through there. And if people are sending shielded drones at you, that's limited how far they can, because that's a lot of weight to carry.
It's like Independence Day, alien stuff. All the independent fighter jets had their own shields.
So. And it'll be interesting. Well, I wouldn't go as far as saying that our fighters aren't shielded. They're not electronically shielded, but I would go as far as saying that we do have technology that can keep our electronics safe on board our jets.
And I would say all of our fighter jets from the F-14 forward probably are all hardened against electromagnetic pulse attacks, and mainly for 2 reasons. Most of them are being launched onto or landing onto nuclear-powered craft that also carry nuclear-powered weapons sometimes.
Yes.
So if it actually goes off, your plane's going to stop working. We don't want that.
Well, Kimberly, B-52 can fly through a nuclear storm. Yeah, it can actually drop a bomb and circle back around and fly back across the top of it. It's not going to do it anything. It's designed for that. They even have irradiated these curtains to keep radiation to actually help with the special glass they have, which was recently upgraded through one of the Gorilla Glass series. It's got some kind of special lead inside the glass.
Well, I think that what they also wasn't not too long ago. They announced that they actually it's not a in Star Trek they called it clear aluminum. They have a clear steel that is like a glass you can see through, but is like impervious to almost any kind of damage.
Yeah. Well, these are just to keep the radiation from getting inside the aircraft and killing the people flying it. But it's well, no, this is not even new technology. We've been having this since the 50s. Yeah, about 58, 59, somewhere around there. We started developing these technologies for this. Girl, do you realize Gorilla Glass, the glass that's on your phone, on almost everybody's phone, sat on the shelf for 55 years before it was used? 55 years. Nobody, there wasn't a use for it before.
They didn't have cell phones back then. What are you going to use a thin piece of glass for?
It was too expensive to put in cars and stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, it's even today they don't use it for cars. And your phone glass is actually about 10 times as strong as your windshield glass.
Get this, and this isn't UFO technology, but well, maybe it is. I don't know. But Chevrolet or General Motors, in fact, the parent company that owns Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, used to have Pontiac, used to have Saturn, etc. They have in their museum a 60-mile-per-hour carburetor that they invented in like 1947, and it has never seen use in a internal combustion engine run by gasoline in this country ever. Can you imagine what the price of gasoline would be right now if we had a 60-mile-an-hour carburetor that was, in development since the 1940s, 50s?
Well, I heard Trump say gas down here going to be 89 cents a gallon. So,
oh wow, that's what it was when I started driving. But that's a topic for Friday. But
89 cents, people. Yeah, you just keep on. No, it's
nice. It's a good
but anyway,
goal.
Getting back before I get sidetracked.
Santa Claus, get a Sandy Claus.
So getting back to the Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo. So this is how we got sidetracked. We were talking about the capsule sizes. So each one of these, Mercury and Gemini, were stepping stones to Apollo. This was to see how the astronauts reacted, to see how the capsules reacted. What did they need to do? What kind of contamination were they experiencing? How did they react to being in semi-weightlessness?
So basically, if I remember correctly, it goes Mercury was the first one. It was first to test to make sure that they could successfully launch a human off the planet, spin him around the planet once or twice, and then bring him back alive. And that was to test the machine that it was in. They were basically the same kind of a smaller version, but very similar to the version that at the end of all Apollo flights, you see that bell thing fall into the water. That was just that. The Gemini program was to test coupling and other maneuvers they would have to do, because when they get to the moon, they have to separate the machine that they're in into two pieces, turn around, and then go back into the piece they separated from and connect to the lunar lander and pull it out of the shell that it's in, and then go to the moon. So that was Gemini, was to test that they could actually connect in space two different vehicles to perform maneuvers such as that. And then Apollo was obviously there and back again.
It was they did a lot of launching, nothing like Elon.
A lot of cool shit going on. I was only 3 when Alan landed on or stepped on the moon.
It's there was, so anyway, so all of these programs, doesn't matter which one you're talking about, and a lot of the astronauts from each program went to the next program. Not all of them. Some of them washed out. Some of them only weren't quite as bad as the other ones. So they would bring in some fresh blood, but they would keep a lot of the old ones. But regardless who you're talking about, like Alan Shepard talking about seeing fireflies in space, it's it supposedly was an Aborigine tribe making those fireflies in space. Probably not the truth, but regardless, he did see the fireflies in space. There was some black and white footage of it. So there was something that engulfed the entire capsule while he was flying. Didn't harm the capsule, by the way. Didn't harm him or anything else. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Shepard. And then there's been little things like that. And then there's been several of them talked about. In the very beginning, Mercury astronauts would call them UFOs. So if you go back and look, there's over 50 mentions of UFOs, not just by the astronaut, but sometimes by NASA
I
itself
believe
picking them up.
Ohio Senator John Glenn Jr., whose autograph I have several times, was one of those gentlemen who reported a UFO, not a Santa Claus or a reindeer
But
or firefly.
somewhere going through the Gemini program, they started calling it other stuff, and then I forgot it was one of the Apollo astronauts, but he was in Gemini at the time. Said Rudolph Santa pulled alongside with his Rudolph and somebody else, and just following along with us. And should we ask him for a Christmas present?
Yeah.
That was a true statement. So, hello, hey, can we get out and knock on Santa's sled? Hey, boy, you got some presents in it? Yeah, I got some laser guns. Watch this.
Well, and if I'm not mistaken, the term Santa Claus for UFO was also used during Vietnam. At first, we were using mostly utility helicopter and attack helicopter forces in Vietnam. So we had helicopters all over the place. So in order to report a UFO, a helicopter pilot would have to call in and go, "I see a helo." You're in a helo. You're surrounded by helos. You used to see helos all over the place. It didn't make any sense. It got too confusing. So they started using Santa Claus and reindeer in that instance as well.
Yes. Yeah. What's this, Chris? No. Yeah. No. No. You sent me to Wiki. No, that's not Wiki. What is that? No, that's pretty much what Jay was just saying. So it just says the Project Mercury was determined whether humans could survive in space. They were only singling up one person. It was just up for anywhere from 15 minutes suborbital flight up. But I think the longest one spent 30 hours in space or something. It was real short periods of time.
So John Glenn was the first astronaut to go around the planet once. Yuri Gagarin just went up, outer space, down, boom, that was it. And then a few pilots before John Glenn, that's all they did was they went up and down, up and down. They didn't go around the planet. So they sent John Glenn up, and then he went around 3 times, and I think his entire flight time was like 45 minutes from ground to orbit back to ground. So they're very quick. But in that three orbits, he at least reported one UFO sighting.
Yeah, there was a lot of it. And then no, Chris, Project Gemini always had 2 people in it. It was 1, 2, then 3. That's how it worked. That's how you can really tell the projects apart if you don't know anything about them. Mercury was 1, Gemini was 2, Apollo was 3. That's just how many astronauts it took. But Gemini was just up there testing everything for Apollo.
Yeah.
I think there was 10 missions altogether. They checked that they changed orbits. They did different things in space. They were just seeing if the equipment was going to work that was going to help get Apollo there. And we all know what Apollo was. So, and then then comes the shuttle missions. And the amount of UFO sightings actually went up with the shuttle missions. But that's also because, there could be anywhere from 4 to 7 or 8 people on board a shuttle at any given time. No, they get them. The lab gets them too. I mean, the space station people. Yeah, there's been reports there.
There's the STS-48 video, and there's a lecture. I think you can probably still find it on YouTube. And I don't know the guy. It must have been some sort of college level physicist professor, but I mean he explained the whole thing. I mean the guy seemed like a well educated rocket scientist, and he identified like 113 different moving objects in the STS video where it looks like we shoot an energy beam at something outside the planet.
What do you mean, James? Oh, what are you saying when Neil Armstrong said it was aliens, it was Nazis that told us to stay off the moon? Is that what you're saying? I don't know about that one.
There is an unconfirmed rumor that the Nazis got to the moon first with Warner's help, and that they started the basis of creating a moon base. And all the personnel allegedly that went up there are still up there and are probably dead.
Dead people did. Yeah, it did. No. So, no, I only ever met Neil Armstrong once, and it was at a conference that had nothing to do with UFOs. And I hadn't asked him anything about UFOs at the time because I hadn't heard the story at the time. He was just one of my heroes from being an astronaut, so I wanted to meet him. But regardless, the reporter that took the report, the one who wrote the first report when he was on stage and said this, who also had witnesses that actually met him, and we talked for a while. And then after that, I met Buzz Aldrin and Edgar Mitchell
Collins.
at the Washington. Yeah.
Oh, Edgar
it was
Mitchell.
Edgar Mitchell. Yeah. I met him at the Washington Press Club, him and Buzz. And we had a nice lunch with them. They talked about a lot of things. Talked about seeing stuff in space. They had a little tiff about why does he always tell people we didn't go to the moon, because he thinks it's funny. That's not even why. He actually said why. Stephen Bissett was there, and the guy who led the flight over 1907 of the bombers, who had to change course because a squadron of UFOs wouldn't get out the way. It's and then come to find out, the damn thing's probably saved him, because there was a AAA setup waiting for him near where they were going to be bombing. So anyway, he was there, and we were talking about all of this, and Buzz said so did Edgar. He said they never thought Neil was lying. They said Neil took it pretty serious when he was asked about it amongst the other astronauts. He said, "You notice we're not going back around there, are we?"
Well, if you look back at the footage, they were quarantined for, I think, 2 or 3 weeks by themselves until they made sure that there were no pathogens that could kill the planet. But then right when they were, brought out of quarantine, they were on TV in like a television news panel kind of thing. And if you look at these 3 men, they just got off the moon. They don't look excited. They don't look well rested. They look kind of, if you look at Neil Armstrong, he looks kind of red faced and he's kind of sweaty. And he looks pissed. If you and I went, anybody else went to the moon and came back, even if we were quarantined for 3 weeks, we'd be like, "Oh my God, it was so cool! There was this gray dust everywhere, and these little rocks." And you'd be chatting up a storm, talking about an experience like that. They say hardly nothing throughout the entire thing, even when given questions. It's short and quick and to the point.
Yeah, because he couldn't talk about what he wanted to talk about, or whatever he's seen. Because there is a clip when they're passing over a particular crater, when he says it looks like 5 giant mushrooms connected by tubes. It's his words, and they still have that clip. It's a clip. I think he might even still be able to get it on YouTube. It's it's been a long time, but still, people didn't want to talk about it.
That would be Michael Collins saying that, not Neil.
No, they said it was Neil.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. But
there's also some chatter with
you're thinking, oh no, I see why you said that. No, this was before
because before they got off. Okay, yeah, they do all go around once, but when Michael Collins goes around after Neil and Buzz are down there, farting around on the planet or on the moon, Michael goes back around on his first pass and goes, "Well, there's a whole city down here that they didn't see on the first pass." Or he sees a whole city. But
see, now the problem is there's like 5 lunar probes up there. India's got 1. I think China's got 2. We got 2.
China's got 2. Japan has 3 or 4, but they haven't sent anything else.
Europe's got a couple. So it is nice because they verified the landing sites for the rovers, but they haven't verified anything else. So that means at least 10 countries would know that there was something there that were aliens, and then all those people who were working all that instrumentation would know as well. I just feel that if it was true, somebody with that many non-government people seeing stuff, I just don't think it would have stayed a secret this long.
Well, it doesn't seem to be really a secret, number one, so much, but you don't see the recent photos from that side. You don't see
anybody verifying the information.
Yeah. So, with the old NASA photos, especially the weird ones where like there's the tower and there's the one where it looks like there's a dome. There's 2 versions of each of those things. There's the NASA put out in the newspapers where the dome has been erased by back then they used to have to actually airbrush each print as they made them off of the negative.
I work for NASA now, people of Earth. You will be assimilated. Yes, you will be. By Elon Musk and X. Yes, yes. So that's why I'm wearing black, people. I'm going over to the dark side. Oh yeah, Elon, here we come, baby. Push over. Gotta make some room. No, Chris.
Look, I've got Darth Vader's Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. Anyone's going dark, it's going to be me first.
Yeah,
I gotta
Elon
change this
says,
to red though.
Elon says aliens are not real. It's a figment of humans' imagination.
Yeah, they're actually not real. They're 3D Legos that have robotic AI within them.
He said in all of their time they've been in space now, they had not seen anything they couldn't explain. So
They're still trying to explain 3-Eye Atlas.
No, he's not. He says a comet.
Yeah, I agree, but there's people are still buzzing about it on the internet.
Yeah, and now it's even getting further away from us than it. First, it was going to be 50 million miles. Now it's 70 something million miles. People, 70 something million miles. That's twice the distance of the sun. That's how far away from us. You can't see it with the naked eye. You can't even see it with binoculars. You have to have a mid-range telescope.
Very serious telescope. It's
Not
like
gonna be a serious
198
one,
million miles away from us. It's like
Yeah,
it's like on the plane. It's on the plane of the orbit of Mercury. That's how far away it is from our planet.
You could do it with a Walmart telescope, but
Yeah, 100 power would probably do it.
you can do it with that. But well, yeah. Oh, you didn't know you could see stellar stuff with your binoculars? Oh my God! Yes, you can see all kinds of stuff with binoculars. Yes, you just nebulas.
If you have a chance to get military grade Generation 3 night vision scopes or glasses or whatever you call them, you can see through clouds with that technology. Imagine a telescope that could look through clouds. How cool would that be? But yeah, is there a conspiracy to get rid of the moon? No. But is the moon moving away from us? Yes, at about an inch per year. It moves a little bit further out in orbit. So either it's stabilizing or it's eventually going to sling itself away.
By the way, that number changes too, people. Sometimes it's 2.3 inches a year. Sometimes it's 0.75. That was a question that was asked at one of the NASA events I attended. The guy's like, well, we don't exactly know why it changes speeds. He said, it's not even that it changes speeds so much. He says, I think it has more to do with the Earth ratio to the moon. He said, because it's not completely a circle. So there's a little oof here and there.
It's elliptical still, but it's more circular. So ellipses are like eggs. It's not an oval. Oval is a different shape. But they can be really, really long, or they can start to be almost like a ball. But it's to the naked eye, it's not a ball. It's got a little bit of a, like Joe says, a wobble in it.
Yeah. Well, it makes a difference in where it's located when they're measuring.
Heidi, the moon isn't actually a natural object anyway. It doesn't belong to the solar system, I don't think.
Well, I don't. Well, that's hard to tell because when they brought the dust back, it's like stuff from here. So it's. But well, no, Jimmy, that just means it ran into us. It doesn't mean it was from here.
Stuff that should be way underneath. Instead of, they didn't bring back topsoil, they brought back bottom soil. How do you have bottom soil on the top of your planet?
That's what I'm saying. What they brought back was impact. So it's hard to tell what the moon was originally made out of because it smacked into the side of us.
Well, why is almost every crater a uniform depth?
Yeah, that's weird too. By the way, that's a very
almost all of them are a uniform depth.
The bigger the asteroid, the wider the crater. So in most places,
and deeper.
Well, no, what I mean, not on Mars. I mean, not on the moon. So if you go to Mars, the bigger the crater, the wider and deeper the hole is. Not on the moon. The bigger the crater, just the wider the thing is. It never seems to penetrate more. And I think, I forgot, it was either 3 meters or 30 meters. It's not a lot.
It's like 300 or 400 feet deep. It's not there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's like,
30 meters.
It's like an inverted mountain. And so you're going down 300 or 400 feet, 400 feet, something like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what 30 meters is.
Some of them are like, 200 feet deep. Some of them are 300 feet deep. Some of them are 65 feet deep.
Not the ones that NASA's been scanning. They're pretty much uniform.
There's a lot of uniform depth, but it's not all the same.
NASA said the only place you see different depths is where there's mountain ranges or hills. They said if it's a flat area, the depths are all the same. No matter how wide the crater is, the depth's the same. That's what started all this. And then they noticed that the only places it was deeper was where the mountain range is. So what NASA did was would measure from the top of the hill to the bottom, and it still came out to be the same thing because you don't count the dirt from the hill. You only count from where it was level and down, and it's still the same depth. They think there's some kind of steel core or something, or they didn't even say steel.
Well, but also the dust or powder that's on the moon is, again, like if you have a sediment layer, it's the stuff down here that you would dig to, not the stuff that you would. So this is the top of the soil. It's like been reversed. So one of the speculations is that the moon was cored out and the corings were just pulverized into powder and shot out onto the surface.
Well, we also know there's all that helium-3 up there, which came from other places.
Might be from that mining process of coring out the moon.
Yeah, we don't know where it came from. Just come from around here because there's not that much of it on Earth. Well, mostly meteors bring it to the moon, but there's not that much on Mars either. There's a lot on the moon. It's almost like somebody put a gas station up there and said, hey, look, eventually these stupid humans will figure out what this is. Well, it's a way of testing us. Think about it. So you put the Dark Star satellite up there, you cover the moon, you make it hollow, and then you cover it with helium-3, which makes us want to go. We finally get there and learn what this power source is, which will probably help us to learn what cold fusion really is.
It will probably power our civilization for the next millennia.
Oh, easy.
Until we find the next new element.
Well, they're saying it can be used to create cold fusion, which can just run. So once you get it running, it's running. I mean, guys, you're talking endless energy here. I mean, the world can be a much different place because energy will be all but free. It's
right.
Well, it won't be in the beginning. It'll be like everything else, but it'll be like
the one drawback is that we just might have to, ditch our gas-powered V8 muscle cars for Jetson cars.
Yes, I want my helium car, buddy. I guarantee
Imagine a car you could drive to the moon. How cool would that be?
That's right. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Futurama. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, their cars just, the bubble closes and they take off and go into space. Well, Germany's got a new space plane, so we're going to see what that is. It can take off from the ground and go into space. Germany.
Oh, Germany. I thought you said Jeremy. I'm like, who the fuck is Jeremy? Oh, pardon my French.
And then they've got America's working on a jump jet space plane.
Wow.
So
a VTOL space jet.
Yeah, so it's oh no, they're working on these things. Russia and China's nowhere around. You can bet if not, the US has already been saying, okay, send us the blueprints. Yeah. Oh no, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about on Friday, but it's nothing we can talk about here though. All that chip stuff and all we'll talk about on Friday. Oh yeah.
Do you have a book to give away?
No, let me see. We might. We can't.
If you do, I have a question for the audience for you to give the book away with.
It's I don't see nothing close at hand. What is it? No, you know what? I don't have a book, but I do have an audio cassette of L. Ron Hubbard's Fear.
Audio cassette or CD?
It looks like
okay. Because cassettes would be previous generations technologies.
High def, yeah. Oh yeah, we don't have none of that stuff in here. I don't even have a cassette player.
You did say cassette. So.
Oh, did I say cassette? Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yes, you did.
Unabridged HD audio, full cast cinematic soundtrack.
Who's the cast? Jim Meskimen?
Oh, I don't know. This is Fear. I don't know if he'd be on there or not. Without Fear, I would never have come up with the idea. I bet you not. Let's see. Does it say anything in here? Anybody?
Well, you ready for the question?
Oh yeah, Jim Meskimen is in there. He's a director.
There we go. He's a voice coach, man.
There you go, guys. He's serious. You guys look in there. He's ready to go. He's so cute. Look at him.
He's this generation's Rich Little.
So there y'all go, guys. Well, let me put it over here so I know where it is.
So the question. Here's the question. So to give away the audio book, did anyone have a concept for a submersible aircraft carrier? Anyone's Navy have a concept for a submarine that can launch airplanes?
So
yes or no?
While y'all doing that, we're gonna go take a break right quick so y'all can come back.
Oh, good! I got to get some more lemonade for my new.
Yeah. So, hey, Mark, how you doing? Thingy. Hey, Sally, how you doing? Heidi B. No, we're gonna take a quick break. It's gonna be a quick one, 4 or 5 minutes. Theme song, 1 or 2 promos, and then we're back. Well, we have to do a station ID anyway, Jenny. Yeah, we don't. It's not really an option. So, you'd have to talk to Jay's old lady about stripping. I got nothing to do with that. I'm sure if you offered the right amount of cash, something could be arranged. But you have to do that on Friday night because this is a kid-friendly show here. I'm sorry,
Just a kid-friendly show, and it's going to be it's a hefty price.
Yes, he's not cheap. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. What do you mean you got to clear it with Michelle? What are you talking about? No, she don't get none of that money. What are you crazy?
No. She's not the one on the barber.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm just getting my hookup fee. That's all.
So how come? Why is that? That's a good thing. Maybe we can explore. Why is it that it's a brass pole in adult clubs where men go to watch naked women? Why isn't it a barber pole where women go to see men dance naked?
I'm not even touching that, people. He just wanted a candy striper. That's all. I'm not touching.
Girls like pretty colors.
Oh man, flashy Christmas colors, red and white stripes. Hey, we didn't say nothing dirty, so you can't say nothing. We just hinted around it. But anyway, no, really, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back, and like I said, about 5 or 6 minutes. What is wrong with this thing? You might have to run the break. For some reason, my side screen won't scroll.
Really?
I don't know what that is. It's
what song do you want?
Well, let's run the 31-second UFO promo, UFO paranormal promo, and then run the 6 Gun Joe, and then 1 or 2 promos when you come back.
Okay.
Let's start off because the 31-second one is the station ID break for the show.
Yeah. Oh, got it. There it is. And then the other one is 2. There they are. Got it. All right. You tell me when to go, and I'll hit it.
Anytime you're ready, baby. Go ahead.
Be right back.
You're listening to UFO Undercover with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
I had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him 6 Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, he commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old 6 Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, Seriously. Well, 6 Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to 6 Gun Joe.
Welcome to the Outer Realms with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
The Church of Mavis radio show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Sorry. I was practicing for something else. How's everybody tonight? I hope all is well in big UFO land out there. You know, talking about what we've been talking about tonight. Well, what do you mean? Well, yeah, we get sidetracked sometimes. That's just, unfortunately for y'all, that's life. Well, no, we just do sometimes. But anyway, getting back before we get sidetracked again by somebody else. There's so many of these people who have seen these things. So when you just look at the astronauts alone that have seen UFOs and said, hey, guys, it's not ours. You have to kind of go, ooh, you got to kind of think maybe, just maybe, since these are guys we sent out to go find ET, that maybe they might know something. Maybe they have seen something. And then there's the amount of U.S. Navy pilots, especially, not saying that Air Force pilots don't see them, because they do. I guess because the Navy's spend so much time out at sea, it's easier for them to catch them or see them more often. But regardless, both services see them. And then let's talk about airline pilots. So none of these are just shit people or doing alcohol or drugs or the lowest class of our society. These are people who really pay attention to life. They know what's going on around them. Their job is to be aware of their surroundings.
Particularly pilots, you got to be aware. I mean, even though they're in the sky, it's really hard to crash into things, but you still have to be aware. There's other planes and shit. Oh, pardon my French, but they're trained to observe and record things with their eyes. I mean, especially if you're a policeman or any military guy, especially a pilot or Navy, especially if you're on a boat, you're trained to recognize things from a distance with your eyes.
Yes, it's, well, so you talk about all of these people, and then you talk about just people on the road like truckers and policemen and stuff like that. And you look at the amount of people who are giving you this information, and these are all these people we're talking about are people who have to be aware of their surroundings around them for their own safety and for your safety. So you can't just write them off and say, okay, well, he was smoking something that day at work. No, you're an airline pilot. Look, I did shrooms, which we'll talk about on Friday because it's not good for the show, but you just come listen to it on Friday. You'll see what we're talking about. But regardless, pilots pay attention. Military pilots are razor sharp attention, not just that. They've also got every gadget you can think of paying attention, and everybody around them connected to them paying attention. So when a pilot looks out his window and he goes, well, gee, Bob, what is that flying saucer looking thing? And ground control's going, what the hell are you talking about, James? Bob, you see that? Bob's like, well, I see that. Control, you don't see that? No. Well, we sure the hell see it. Let me send you a picture real quick, because now we got instantaneous and send, Oh, yes, the ways of the internet. And of course, the military has something a little more sophisticated, but still it's the same thing. You can take a wing picture. You can even take a picture with his phone and send it back. And now they've got a picture, so they know it's there. Every now and again, there was one we seen not too long ago where they said engage it, and what happened? The effing missile bounced off of it, but it did look like.
Oh, there's a video where we shoot a Tic Tac, and the Tic Tac doesn't explode, but it is diverted from its original course, and the missile just bounces off screen and probably explodes.
I don't know if it exploded. It looked like it almost looked like it was disarmed on the way there.
Well, maybe, I don't know, but it flies off screen, so we don't know the fate of it.
What do you mean, Kirk? You don't think it? You think it was ours? That the thing that was flying was ours? Possible. It might have been some kind of test to see if something that can disarm missiles, or what does it take to survive a missile impact,
or maybe it's a new craft we have that they're testing to see how many missiles it takes to knock it down.
Yeah, I mean, it can be any of the above. Well, generally jets are fragile.
Yeah. Especially where the wings connect to the fuselage. That's the most weakest point.
You know what, Pete? I seen that thing on I think it was on YouTube where they found that B-2 Spirit and redid it. Yeah, so let me get this straight, Uncle Sam, and I'm going to talk about this on Friday too. You just parked a B-2 Spirit out in the middle of the desert, and these people just came and got it and restored it. I'm a little confused. Someone needs to enlighten me on this. But we'll save that for Friday as well, because it's a very interesting story. But James, so the amount of UFO seen in space and by astronauts, what is this one? Some alleged sightings never occurred. Oh, wait, really? We'll start off with that? Oh, science fiction stuff. Yeah, well, we don't care about science fiction stuff. But then there's the Apollo 11 commander, Neil Armstrong, what he said he encountered. Other Apollo astronauts discussing what they had seen and said they encountered. With the strong and then there's there's a lot of strong evidence for the fact that NASA astronauts encountered things on a regular basis as early as the 60s, like they were being watched. Several astronauts, more than less, reported feeling like they were being escorted. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, these are fighter pilots we're talking about, not just fighter pilots, but test. So fighter pilots are already crazy as can be. Then you throw on top of it their test pilot, they're like super crazy. They're not scared of anything. And when you have these guys saying, oh yeah, this thing came and did Fruit Loopies around my spacecraft, and you're thinking I'm traveling at 16,000 miles an hour in space, and this thing just cruised up inside of me, wiggled at me, smiled around.
Well, what about the dive bomber pilots? I think they're the nuttiest, because they actually have to aim their plane in a vertical, dive straight at their target.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's some obtuse angle, but they have to go towards a very large ship just before, the time of, the point of no return. And then they have to pull up, drop their bomb, and hope they don't get shot on the way across the front of that ship. That's crazy.
Jesse, I was going to post this thing I'm reading right now, but it's on Wiki, and Wiki's begging for money. So we can't. I mean, if you want to, you can donate. They're asking that everybody who looks at the page donate $2.75. I don't know how they got themselves in trouble. Probably dated storage, to be honest with you. I can't believe they can't find advertisement to support them. I would figure like one of the big encyclopedia companies might, or maybe the Smithsonian, someone like that.
Look, the only problem with Wikipedia that people have is they're not aware that certain articles, the general public, you and I, Joe, anybody, anywhere in the world can edit them. For a time, they had an entry for Nunchaku, which I'm a master of, and the story was wrong. They said that they thought nunchakus were stirrups, or if they weren't stirrups, they were the bridle and bit that you would have in your horse. Can you imagine that's where you keep your weapon, and you get attacked by highwaymen with your goods in your cart and horse and buggy? Give me a minute, guys. I got to take my weapon out of my horse's mouth first, so I can beat you up with it. So I wrote that story out, and then they edited it back in. It's just flat out false. I mean, who the f uses their stirrups as a weapon? You have to untie them from the horse. It was just so stupid.
Yeah, well, they lost me when a director put up a page about myself, and then they put up a page about ICAR, and then they took it down. And every time somebody would go put one up, they would take it back down. But so. And then they had to go add in things certain places because I told them I was going to sue them because they had MUFON on it. And the guy was like, "Well," I'm like, "Well, we're 20-something years old ourselves. Now we're 30." And I was like,
when I look my name up, I get the Bishop of Ohio. He's like no, he's like my great uncle or great cousin or something like that. He's part of my family.
It's what's it? I don't even know if I'm searchable on Wiki. I never look. I just probably because it'll just aggravate me, so I don't look. I imagine somewhere on there I have to be mentioned on something. I mean, I've been around long enough that I'm sure my last name's into something. Well, there's a guy he's an award-winning director. He's Galliano Montaldo's his name's out there, but really, and then there's a monk. Yes, Thomas somebody. He's a monk and a cook and a chef or something. His name's out there. But that's about it. Oh, and then there's a guy who has my same name who owns Boar's Head Ham. Yeah, so.
Well, the cool thing, my aunt also, my dad's sister, did the same research. Our last name comes from Scotland, and it comes from a guy whose name is John Mac, M-A-C-K, Nay, N-A-Y, Kill, Macnichol, right? Put them together real quick, it becomes Macnichol. And so now the root clan is Macnichol, but his original name was Mac Nay Kill, which means I guess he would not kill. I guess it means humans. Maybe he wasn't a hunter, but he was the first Highlander. And we have a castle on the Isle of Skye up on the top part of Scotland, like right before the ice.
What are you talking about, Mike? Oh yeah, if I go back to Spain or Italy, yeah. There's not very many of us in the United States. Well, it's not exactly true because Montebanto, Montevio, Montelato, Montaldo are all pretty much the same name. It looks like Ellis Island might have had a little play in that. And the main reason you can find out is because our coat of arms are very close. But there's lots.
And roughly translated, it just simply means Joe of the Mountains. Mountain Man.
So if you go look for my last name in Italy, yeah, there's lots of little villas and towns.
I'll bet you the root family is from either a valley right near a mountain or in the mountains itself.
Well, like
I would not be surprised because Mount is Italian for mountain, and Aldo is either up or tall.
So Tuscany.
So it might be Joe Tall Mountain would be your name in English.
Yeah, well, in Tuscany basically is a mountain, and then there's Tuscany Montaldo. Matter of fact, I guess he might be a relative, might be a cousin. I don't know what the hell he is. And he invited me. He owns a pizzeria on top of this mountain in Tuscany.
Nice.
He just goes by Giuseppe, and I go by Joe. But last name's the same, middle name's the same too, which is kind of weird. It's beautiful place. He's got a big villa. He said, "Man, anytime I'll give you all the private villa. You can be away from us and the kids. Just come hang out. All expenses paid." He said, "Man," he said, "I love listening." He said, "I thought I was crazy until I met you." I was like, "Well, thank you a lot." And but we helped. We actually helped a couple people over there out of the blue. That's a long time ago, 20 something years ago. Somebody wrote to me on this show about a little town, Montaldo something, and they had a monastery, and then it was just going to ruin. It had all these beautiful tapestries. It was about 900 years old, 960 something years old. It's probably about 1,000 years old now. And the guy wrote to us, and we made a plea. And sure enough, some people came in, donated money, fixed the whole thing up. They made a room for me. There's actually a room named after me there inside the thing. I was like, well, shit, man. I think there's only like 900 people in the whole town. I don't want to go there. It remind me too much of what's it on Firefly, the guy that went back to the mutters. Anyway, it's well, it's interesting when you have a last name like that that people recognize when you're traveling. It's just one of those things. But it's funny though. When I talk to these Montaldos, not many of these guys have seen UFOs, which makes me think maybe we're not exactly related. Since they abduct in family lands, makes me wonder. How do I know I'm from Italy? I've had my DNA checked a couple of times, and it actually puts me about 33% Italian, and they have me Venetian is actually listed separate, which is kind of weird. And then I am 44% Irish, Scottish, Welsh, English. So they couldn't make up their mind since they're all related, which means I'm a Viking.
I haven't had my DNA check, but we both have. I'm Irish and Italian, and they're like you're saying earlier, they're generational names. Like on my dad's side, it's John and Vincent, and then on my mom's side, it's Michael and Joseph. So like my brother's name is Michael Joseph. My cousin from my mom's sister, his name is Michael Joseph. My grandfather, my mom's dad, his name is Joseph. So it just you can trace so much cool stuff way back if you dig deep enough and your family's old enough. You can find out some interesting stuff. My mom's family is related to Galileo Galilei, which is I guess why I'm good with science.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a geek. I read my family's been good with science, but no telling why. It might have just been an interest. Okay, so here's the Apollo. So Neil Armstrong, August. No, he wasn't August. That's when he was born.
This is their first interview after coming back from the moon.
This is just, and then Buzz Aldrin, Pete Carnard, and Alan Bean.
Where's Michael Collins?
This is just the first four they got listed.
Oh.
It says mission, but then it says 1930, 1930, 1930, 1932.
1930.
Yeah, well, Apollo 11 went in 1930. We know what that wasn't. It was like 69 or something, huh?
July 1969.
Let's see.
And it was predicted 2 years earlier on Star Trek by the year and month.
Okay, here we go. These are all astronauts that seen Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Pete Conrad, Alan Bean, Alan Shepard, Edgar Mitchell, David Scott, James Irwin, John Young, Charles Duke, Gene Kennard, Harris Schmidt. That's all of the Apollo astronauts who reported seeing UFOs on missions more than once. Officially reported them, ladies and gentlemen.
Interesting.
Not just saying they seen it, but made an official report to NASA and the military about what they see. No, that's not the Mercury Gemini, because not all the Mercury Gemini astronauts made it over. Which one? You want to know what branches are in? Let me see. Neil Armstrong was just NASA. Yeah. Buzz Aldrin was Air Force. Pete Kennard was Navy. Alan Bean was Navy. Alan Shepard was Navy. Edgar Mitchell was Navy. Dave Scott was Air Force. James Irwin was Air Force. John Young was Navy. All the crazy ones were Navy. Charles Duke was Air Force. And Gene Carman was Navy. And Harrison Schmidt was NASA. So these are NASA pilots. Yeah, you know, they're test pilots. You don't have to be a military pilot to be a test pilot. No, you don't. Yeah. If you can, take care of the thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can be a civilian, but you have to go through the same rigorous tests the Navy and all those trained pilots have to go through. If you make it through, you make it through.
Yeah,
they don't all make it through.
Well, it's just different things when you listen to him talk, and what it says. He says like two peas floating along, like being in a pod, floating along, watching this thing. And they used the watching word a lot because they were probably astonished. They're going, wait, did these humans just put yourself in a fucking bleep and can and launch yourself into space? You're kidding me, right? These guys are flying, and you know that.
Yeah, there are parts on the LEM, the Lunar Excursion Module. That's the thing that goes to the moon, and then it separates again into two pieces. One stays on the moon. Well, one stays on the moon, the other is dropped on the moon after they get out of it. But there are parts on the hull, the outside, the skin of that, where you could literally put your foot through it because it's only foil. And, well, not necessarily foil, it was mylar, which eventually throughout the 70s became balloons. It's a really good material for balloons. But it was also, that's all they really needed was that and a few other things sandwiched. I mean, it was enough that they could put their foot through it. But it was basically the tinfoil skin. and it kept the radiation from getting in from the sun. That's how they lightened the craft.
Yeah, they had to do something cute. That's like a light.
Fabric exterior you can put your foot through.
Jesse, you act like the astronauts were flying around in a microwave for a week. No, it's not how it was. We'll learn about
Microwave was
the
only
van
just beginning to be understood at that level. The first microwaves were built in, I think, 1958 or 59, and were on the market around the same time. And they were rated. There was the Mana radar range, and they were huge. They were as big as a regular oven.
Now you hear what he was saying about the Kevlar and the aluminum on the outside. That wasn't just for radiation. That was for microwaves. Microwaves reflect when they hit something. So if you hit something like that, it's got a shine to it, it'll reflect it off of it. No laser.
Like the door in the microwave oven, it reflects the radiation back in, so it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah, well, a low intensity laser will reflect off of a mirror, but not off of that stuff they're using. That would burn through that. That's different. But microwave will reflect. What they use is to heat your bacon up in the microwave. You didn't know that? You get the special reflective material you put on it, so it'll reflect it back and forth and fry it instead of just microwave it.
They have special they have special cooking plates. They cook it pretty well. You can, and they're like $9, and you can put a lot of bacon on there, but it's greasy and it makes the inside really nasty. You got to clean it right away.
No, I'll have to show you how to do it the right way, man. It's actually there's a couple places where you get these microwave pieces and they come with these little discs. If you keep them, you can reuse them, and they don't make any real mess at all. Put a paper towel in there.
Pizza used to have those. They don't anymore. The some of the bacon microwave bacons come in like individual packs with a
they come with those
bottom.
Too, but anyway, that's beside the point. That's not what we're actually talking about.
That's food porn for another show.
It's, but that's what that skin did. It reflect those microwaves. So none of that stuff was getting in there. And what bothered me is how ignorant most Americans were. They didn't go take the time to find out exactly how it worked. Instead of saying, "Oh, they should be cooked."
Look, if you don't believe the equipment is for real, the last lunar excursion module, the entire thing, the both the piloting thing that separates and the legs, are on this permanent display at one end of the Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. I've seen it with my eyes a million times. I tried to get under the ropes. It's too far away. You would get shot or grabbed before you got to it. But it is there. It's not a replica. It is the actual article. They also have the Enterprise in the gift shop in a case, the 11-foot model.
Yeah. They had, we were in Houston. They had Apollo 1 capsule there. It said, "Do not touch." And then, I had to touch the damn thing. And my dad was like, you might have some disease now that's going to eat you alive. I'm like, Dad.
I touched the 1966 Batmobile.
Yeah, I actually got to ride one of the Batmobiles. It was.
I touched it.
But they bring them down here.
Production module.
They bring them. The original has been in several parades down here, just like the Oscar Mayer Wiener vehicle.
The original was just bought, I think, on auction at Barrett Jackson a few years ago.
And then I know the guy who runs Cruising the Coast said it'll be down here sometime. But there's like 5 versions now. So there's
only one version that was filmed for the show. They didn't build 3 of them. They had one. They had the actual Futura model, and then was it Burr? I forget the guy's name. He chopped it up and made it into the Batmobile. And now there's a company that makes Futura that you can get. It's just like the original, not the Batmobile, but it's the same shape, but without the stuff that they cut off of it, because it had a double domed window that you could close. It was really neat. There's a guy making those you can buy, and the original one was fuzzy, like a felt pool table, and that was to keep the hot Hollywood lights from shining off of the black car. And you can still see them if you watch the show.
Yeah, they oh no, Jim, you're talking about the one with the one. I forgot which one it was, but there's 2 of them that had real jet engines in them. I've seen both of them. I rode in one of them because it was a friend of ours headed from Mardi Gras. But
the jet engine for the production model was only for show. It didn't.
Yeah, it didn't do anything.
They added a special sound effect, and it was just fire. It was no big deal.
So, not only where I'm reading this now, so quite a few Russian astronauts also officially reported seeing UFOs. I would read their names for y'all, but the last names would be here for weeks. So, no, there's just quite a few of them. It's just in your top line. There's 20 something between NASA and Russia, and then when you start looking at everything else, we haven't even looked at the Gemini, Mercury, or space shuttle, which I'm pretty sure there's more in the space shuttles.
There are a lot of videos, at least 3, of UFO activity. One of them is not UFO activity, I don't think, because one of the UFO shows, they debunked it, and with the explanation what they used, why it looked like the Dropa discs on that one video from I don't remember which STS number it is, but it's the tethered video where they were testing something and it broke away, and then they started filming and all these things started flying around it, and when they zoom in, these things look like they're pulsating Dropa discs. When the guy debunked it, he used the same kind of camera they had on the space shuttle, and he did it in a studio, and he was able to replicate it. And according to logic and science, he can replicate that. Then it was probably a natural, whatever it was. It wasn't UFOs or autonomously controlled devices.
Yeah, there was a couple of them. The really long tether was very strange.
It was a weird move. It was, but when I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, yeah, it looks like there's hundreds of UFOs floating around this thing that broke off the space shuttle.
Oh my god! Look, one of the treasonous 6 are on this list.
One of the what?
The seditious 6.
Oh,
Senator Scott Kelly.
What did he say?
NASA astronaut Scott Kelly.
Oh,
seen a UFO in space. Uh-oh.
Well, that still doesn't change the fact that he's an idiot for saying what he said.
Let's see. Let's learn something about this guy. Retired astronaut Scott Kelly describes seeing a UFO experience. It turns out it was a Bart Simpson balloon.
What?
Yes. And what kind of astronaut are you?
How do you see a Bart Simpson balloon in outer space?
Don't
wait. What was the date? What was the date of his sighting?
Let's see if it tells us. Retired
near like Thanksgiving, then we know what the answer is. He was drunk and said he was in outer space.
Let's see. This guy spent over 8,100 hours in space.
Oh wow!
He's such a doofball. But he said this happened on Earth while he was flying off of Virginia Beach. What an idiot!
Yeah.
Okay, you should have known what that was, Mr. Kelly.
Bart Simpson, my ass, exactly.
Jesse, we can't get into why we're hating on Scott Kelly. You have to come and listen on Friday for that.
Yeah.
There's been quite a few. You'd be surprised at the list of astronauts have seen. We haven't even asked about astronauts that had seen UFOs on Earth. We're just asking about who had seen them in space right now.
Yeah, so but the number of them seeing them in space and or on the moon is astronomically high.
Yeah, so right now we're at about 30 of them, and I'm pretty sure out from this list it looks like it's probably another 10 or 15.
And how many Apollo 11 pilots were there? Like only 14, right?
Yeah, they
something like that.
No, the Apollo 11. There was only 10 of them that were on Apollo that actually said they saw something. Well, let me rephrase that. There's only 10 names for people who actually reported seeing something on the Apollo missions. So that's on their missions. That's not any other time in space because all those astronauts were in space. A lot of them were in a Gemini program. So it gets sticky because the further you get in this, it just looks like from the day we launched the first Mercury until now, they just have been watching.
Yeah.
There was one NASA thought about 6 months ago. There was something they thought they were going to have to move the station to go around.
Really?
Yeah. Oh no, Jimmy's. Where did you get that number from? No, it's the space station's supposed to come down in 2030. Yeah, that's why there's such a big hurry to build a new one. Elon's got a pretty good plan for that, though. I see. Well, NASA's decided they're going to start helping private companies build them and just lease space from them. Don't ask me. I don't control NASA. NASA became a bunch of goofballs. Let's see what this group of astronauts are. NASA. Like, yeah. What's this? They made a whole video of a Scott. They made a whole video of a Scott Kelly's Simpson sighting.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta just be joking me, man. Sometimes. Well, that's to help try to debunk things.
I mean, why didn't you just say Santa Claus? I mean, it was just the same
Yeah,
kind of.
I'm just
And
saying,
how
if
did
you're
they
flying,
determine it was a book? I mean, how did they determine it was actually an actual balloon? Is that what
yeah,
they're trying to
they
put it
flew
off
up on
as?
it. Yeah,
Huh?
they said they flew up on it. They were headed towards it, and when they got closer, they realized it was a Bart Simpson balloon.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't give you a day, so you can't find out what parade it was. But if it was off of Virginia Beach, that means it would have been something in New York. More than likely, it would have been the Thanksgiving parade,
Macy's Day Parade, yeah. But hey, Google, have any of the balloons gotten away during the Macy's Day Parade?
I'm not sure about the answer to your specific
Of
question,
course.
but according to People.com, animal balloons float down Broadway during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in NYC on November 26, 1931. Cool told People that
Okay,
the
Google,
balloons
stop.
are
All right, so they started in 1931. Big
Sure,
deal.
stopping living room.
Wow. Okay. So started in 1931, but nothing that seems that got away.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of balloons escaping before, but I've never. I'd have to go do a search on Bart Simpson escaping. Because it is Bart Simpson, so you never know. He is a.
What year was his experience?
It doesn't say.
It had to be during at least Tracy Ullman's show Forward. That's when Bart Simpson was created.
So but he was an astronaut at the time, so at least 10 years ago. Because I think he's been grounded since then. Ever since he said he saw a pink
elephant floating in space.
No, what do you call them? Pink, got the little thing sticks out of their head, little horses. I was going to call them. Yeah, unicorns. You've seen pink unicorns.
Really? Who saw the pink unicorn?
Yes, Mark Kelly. Scott Kelly. Sorry, not Mark Kelly. Wrong guy. Hating on the wrong guy. Let's see. Here we go, Lavelle. Bogey at 10 o'clock high. This is Houston. Say again. Said we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high. Gemini. This is Gemini 7. Is that the booster or is that the actual sighting? We have several actual sightings, estimated distance or size. We also have the booster in sight. So they knew it wasn't a booster.
Yeah.
This is okay. The same month, Gemini 6, Wally Schur and Tom Sanford pulled off one of the most famous pranks in space in history, reporting, what was it? It said object looks like a satellite going from north to south, probably a polar orbit. I think this is when they started calling it Santa Claus. Was wearing a red suit. Yes, it was.
Okay, so pause. Let's go back. 1959 space race, 1960 space race, 1970 space race. During those 3 decades, we did not have the mathematics or the capability to launch and maintain a polar orbit. That means it goes around this way, not this way like everything else. We couldn't do it back then. We can barely do it now, but a satellite, unnatural, going around the Earth on a polar orbit.
Yeah, and that's what they said.
Natural.
They said it was it was accompanied by a sled with bells.
Yeah, sure. They're probably talking about the Black Knight.
They might be talking about the Black Knight because it's in a polar orbit. So, no, it's stationary orbit. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't think it's geosynchronous. It's just on a polar orbit.
Well, it just stays. It's actually, if if the satellite images are true, it's lined up with something on the planet, but nobody will say anything about it. It's like it's connected to something, like it's tethered.
That's what you call geosynchronous orbit, yes. But
yeah, but this is not. It's geosynchronous. There's at least some fluctuation because the satellite and the Earth are moving. This the way they described it, the first time I ever heard it described, it said it was like it was stuck. And I've heard that many times since, like the satellite was stuck, like he had stuck it into something. There was no, in space things move in space, and there's push against it, and it just.
Well, isn't this thing within our atmosphere also? It's not actually technically in outer space.
It's not. I think it's like on the edge of our atmosphere. I don't think it's actually inside the breathable part of the atmosphere. I think it's more like, say, 160 miles, something like that. It's technically in outer space, but it's not like further out in orbit or anything. It's pretty close to the air. Because when you see the pictures, you always see like the skim of the planet. Sometimes
even look it up right now, actually.
It's on Black Satellite God, there's so many descriptions of it to date, it's not even funny anymore. I've seen so many videos on it. It racks my brain how we can come up. But there are some good photos. There are some, I think there's Satcom or Navcom got some photos, and a couple other places got some photos. And the early photos are just kind of blurry, and it looks like a black rectangle.
Well, Wikipedia has a pretty good one from 1998 by NASA. Well, they suspect it's been around the Earth for about 13,000 years. That's a long time.
That's what their estimate is. Yeah.
I'm trying to. Oh, a photo taken on STS-88. So if anyone wants to look, there might be some video of it on YouTube. STS-88. That's the mission where they found the black knight.
There's supposed to be a lot of video and a lot of photos, and there's also a lot of classified up close satellite photos of satellites going by. Not satellites actually going to look at it. Satellites in orbit doing other things, passing by it. And there's a GPS launch where there's a backwards picture of it from the top. Most of the pictures you see are from the side or from the bottom, but there's actually one from the top, and it's like spiked. And we don't know if that's the top. That might be the front as far as we know, because we can't really tell what its actual facing. Is it front facing us? Is the bottom facing us? Is the side facing us? There's no real way of telling, but it's very interesting. We'll have to do a show.
Here's an interesting article from, looks like 2021. Fact check. This is USA Today. Fact check. Black Knight satellite space debris, not of alien origin.
Well, the NASA admitted, along so did the one of the, I think it was either the Air Force Space Command had admitted that there was something there in the same coordinates all the time. And they said maybe it has something to do with the pole, and this object got caught by some type of magnetic field, and it's been being held there. And they've investigated many times, and there are up close satellites, but they never let you see those. The ones you see are always like a couple of miles.
They're kind of blurry. The one video I saw was kind of blurry, but it was undulating like a almost like a fin or a fish.
Well, there's not Satcom. One of the big communication companies went by, got kind of close to it, and they said it came alive. It was before that. They just said it just looked like a lump of coal stuck in space, a big lump of coal stuck in space. But this one particular one said that this was like in the mid 70s somewhere when we were first putting in satellite. They said it got kind of close to it, and it didn't move, but it put off an energy field. It didn't even light up, but it put off enough energy field that it pushed the satellite's approach over like 5 degrees. So it let you know that something was there. It was at least awake. But it's not, we don't know what it's doing. It's basically anchored to Earth. But they did say they had movement when 3i Atlas was coming, and then now they say it's facing back to where it was. So maybe it picked up 3i Atlas on its own and said, "Oh, wait, is this a threat? Let's check." And
so maybe it's some kind of, giant honking space gun sent here to protect the Earth from any kind of impacts from
I don't
meteors.
know. We've been whacked with some pretty big impacts since 13,000 years ago.
Well, I don't know. I don't think
mean,
we've had any. I don't think we have any extinction level events 13,000 years ago. I mean, certainly from 65,000 years ago, we can infer that it wasn't here then,
Well, we don't know
because
how long
something
it's
really
actually
did
been there.
destroy the planet.
And that might have been what it was sent here for originally. It may have been sent here just to watch those events happen. As far as we know, that satellite had been up there for millions of years. There's just no way of knowing because its orbit doesn't seem to be orbiting. It's not moving up or down or left or right. It just seems to be there. And so far, all the pictures that when you pay attention, it just seems to always be in the same place. Well, Jeffrey, that's what geo. So geo just means you're locked into a location with your satellite,
and you follow it around.
Yeah,
as the Earth spins, you stay over that same place.
So, and it's a cool invention, and one day it'll be very useful to us when we start beaming down power from space. We'll be able to have satellite plants up there that just shoot power to those areas, and it'll just maintain the power as it goes around, and it'll pick up different stations as it goes. So, yeah, we won't even be creating shit on the planet anymore. We'll need to. It's not even. It's a technology they've been working on, and then Eli's now talking about his new foldable and unfoldable shield that could be completed in less than 10 years. But now they're saying we may not need it because guess what? Global warming may be going back to global cooling. What the bleep? I know, I'm confused as you are, people. But they always did say there's a heating spell always precedes an ice age. But we're pretty soon for an ice age. I mean, it's only been 15,000 years, 20,000 years. It's kind of early. All I know is all that carbon they said that was going to wipe us out is gone. It just disappeared. The ozone's just about completely repaired. It seems like Mother Earth knows how to take care of herself. The temperature seemed to be. So this is another fact for y'all. Go see how much the ice sheet in the southern hemisphere has grown. By oodles and boodles, my friend. Yes. It's definitely not melting down here, and it's not thin ice, it's thick ice. And even the Arctic is starting to see a recovery. Who knows? I said this from day one. I don't think it was man that created this problem. I think it's just something that naturally occurs on our planet because when you stop to think about it, one volcano going off for just 5 days spews more CPCs into the atmosphere than the entire planet's automobile industry for 50 years. So think how many volcanoes erupt on this planet pretty much daily.
What a few.
Yeah.
Is it Io? Is that the one that's going around Jupiter that's like constant, like the entire planet is, every volcano is like spewing stuff into the sky constantly right now?
It might be, but there's that one, and then there's another one that has ice volcanoes. Pluto also has ice volcanoes, by the way.
There's two ice balls. One's on Saturn. It starts with an E, and then Europa is the other ice moon on Jupiter, and then there is Io is like the most highly active. It's the most volcanically active planet or satellite in the solar system. And then I want to say Tycho might also be another ice ball as well.
Well, you know, guys, there's a couple shows we can do in the near future. We can really come back and look at the Black Knight satellite, and we can really kind of do a planetary system for y'all just to show where mankind may be going. But we also have Neil Good coming on. He's been in ufology a long time. He's out of Hong Kong. He'll be joining us in January, and Thomas Reed will be joining us in January. And then there's a couple of contactees we're going to be bringing on. So, well, we're getting into the dark, cold month. So I'd like to snuggle up to the researchers and the contactees that time of year. Yeah, well, you know, there's just a lot going on. And I'm working on a new series for abduction. So if you have a good abduction story, well, you know, we're doing reenactment. So I'm going to probably do 10, 15, 20 minute reenactments for each one. And we'll see how it goes. We'll post it. It'll get debuted here first. It won't be for free, but it'll be debuted here first. You'll get to see segments of it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's some scary, hairy stories to be told, and it's not that easy of a thing to do. Oh yeah. We're gonna put Heidi in it with a knife, like in Halloween. Oh, Mike, I've seen that. That's Guardians of the Galaxy's Christmas special. Yes, that shit was funny. Yeah,
It was kind of funny. Yeah.
it was stupid but funny. The Groot. Yeah, Kevin Bacon, huh? I don't hate Kevin Bacon. I just, I don't even remember anything he does at the moment. But no, he's just one of those kind of actors. He's a nice guy, My favorite actor. Ooh, I don't know if I have one of them. Actors are despicable kind of characters. I don't know. Sci-fi actor? I don't know. It's a tough one. Yeah, Kirby, I heard that, but it's not true. I checked into it. Babylon 5 don't have a new reboot coming. Well, you can't get Sheridan back. He's dead. He's going to live with Lorianne. Yeah, so I mean, he's that's going to bring you back as a. Oh, you mean his son taking over? They could do that, I guess. But I haven't really seen any big interest in it now. And half the original stars are dead anyway. The Doctors did. The guy who played the lizard guy, I can't remember his name. It was my favorite characters too. He's dead. A couple of other ones are dead. The Lynn's dead. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the big characters are gone.
There were a lot of older actors in that.
Yeah, they were.
The one guy, I think he was an ambassador. He was one of the characters I liked on Babylon 5. He was also the one-armed guy in the Clint Eastwood.
That's the lizard guy. I can't think of his name. I don't know why I can't think of what the guy.
I can see his character and his costume and all the makeup that they put on him, and I could.
Yeah, see, he was an interesting character because in the beginning of the series he was one way. He was a real, what.
He was an ass, yeah.
And then as he progressed along, it got better. I can see all the characters' names. For some reason, I'm just drawing a blank on. Yes, no, he hated the other guy. He wanted to choke him out. Yes. For some reason, I can only Delynn Sheridan is about the only one's coming in my head right now.
Sheridan, who played Sheridan? Was that wasn't Boxleitner?
Yeah, that was Bruce Boxleitner.
It was Bruce Boxleitner. Who came in to take after him? It was the next
No. He came in and took over.
Oh,
the other guy,
the guy before.
The guy I can't remember his name, but the guy he ended up coming back and playing an ambassador for the Lombardi.
Yeah,
and he was actually better at that than he was. Yeah, he become the God guy. I can't think of his name. God, I'm embarrassed. I hope they ain't no Babylon 5 fans listening tonight. Shame on JoJo. No, I mean, it's a good series. It really depicts how man will probably be in space in the next 50, 100 years or so.
Yeah.
Well, to get to that level will be another 200 years, but yeah.
And this strange thing that Babylon 5 and Deep Space Nine from Star Trek came out. I mean, I think Star Trek Deep Space Nine premiered a week or two prior to Babylon 5.
Yeah, they were right there together.
But both of them revolved around a stable portal that, was, the way in and out of that region of space to another region of space. It was very cool. But it was, the whole time, both shows said, no, there was no corporate, sabotage going on here. And I'm like, oh, crap. Someone was spying on somebody.
It's interesting because I think Babylon 5 made Deep Space Nine have to go to some places they wouldn't have normally went in the Star Trek series.
Well, as I recall, Babylon 5 also began production quite a bit a few months earlier than Star Trek began production. So I honestly think that the production staff at Paramount had a corporate spy and stole the idea. Because, I mean, they already had the infrastructure, and the Babylon 5 was a new show. They didn't have the sets built for all the stuff they wanted to do yet. They didn't have all the special effects they wanted to do yet. They were starting from scratch. Star Trek already had a built-in infrastructure, so they were able to produce. If they were able to get a spy into Babylon 5, they were able to produce that show that much quicker because they already have sets from the previous
Oh, yeah.
movies and TV shows.
Well, one of the things about Babylon 5, they used a lot of ancient stuff. A lot of the names and stuff came from ancient world cities in Egypt and places like that. But they also used a lot of the ancient wisdoms. And then, like when Glenn gets up there and talks about being, everything's made from stardust, and that's where we come from. And how where the universe made manifest, little pieces broke off to figure itself out. That's how vast the universe has come. So it added something in there that, well, basically Star Trek couldn't. Star Trek never really added religion into their shows, and
well, no, they did in Babylon 5 or Deep Space Nine. They had the Bajoran religion was very huge subplot in very many episodes.
But that was just the Bajoran. There was nothing about the humans, and there was nothing about any of the other races. See, Babylon 5, all the races' religion was shown, and not in the humans. It was more than one being shown. So it was just the way space would really be. I mean, for us, all of our religions are going to get in the way. All of our politics are going to get in the way. And when you get into Star Trek, we're past that.
Well, I don't know. I think at some point religion is going to be a thing of the past. It's a passing fad anyway.
Yeah, past in 6,000 years.
But if you think about it, it was an insertion into our species from another species to give us a system of control to keep people in line.
Yes, and it's going to be there for another 100,000 years. The
Maybe
only thing,
it may end when they come in and say, "Hey, by the way, we gave you religion. It's what you guys are doing with it is not right." It may change. We don't know what the future holds.
The only thing they can really do with religion is just teach religious tolerance.
I think they should tax the living, out of it, and help them. I mean, if I'm with George Carlin, if they're so interested in government and public policy and getting laws, especially restrictive laws passed, tax them, make them pay their admission fee just like everyone else.
Jack, you are right about Discovery. They did get into the Vulcan religion a little bit more in Discovery and in the new one, Strange New Worlds, but not so much as religion, more humping his girlfriend stuff. But still, they did bring it in there a little bit. I mean, I'm not gonna deny you that. And then, like with T'Pol, from Enterprise, she tried to bring some in then. And the original Spock did, but I mean, it's not like if you go watch Babylon 5, you'll know what we're talking about when it comes to religion. They're practicing their religion. They're wearing on it. The Minbari have a very strict religion. Matter of fact, most of them do. Now, when you get to the Centauri, their religion is all about how much money can we make, and they have how many gods and how many. Oh God, we can't even talk about that stuff in here. Their sexual habits is leaving a little much for humans. So I mean, they just added stuff that you're not going to get in the Star Trek world, and it's just like Star Trek versus Star Wars. They're just different worlds. They're designed differently. Star Wars is supposed to be a much more advanced, way powerful world because of the cities and whole planetary cities, but yet not really because they're just wiping each other out. And it's not aliens, or it's their own cells doing it. So in Star Trek, they're past that and on to just killing aliens. It's you notice though, in any series you watch, they're killing somebody.
Yeah, there's always one bad race that they have to fight against.
And whose fault is that? Humans?
It's just standard.
But humans, whose fault is that? Yours, because that's the kind of entertainment you want. But we got to go. Coming up next is The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche, and her guest tonight is C.L. Thomas. Yeah, C.L. is like the voodoo witch girl of the network. Yeah. She hovers and makes stuff levitate and stuff. Yes. She puts witchy spells on people and stuff. Yeah, you gotta watch her, man. She is scary. It's always fun, Heidi.
Thanks, Heidi.
Well, Dean, if you got ICA at cox.net, but if you're going to suggest a guest, always send an email along with them or something. No, we're always looking for guests. Matter of fact, 2026, we'll pretty much be doing a lot of guests. We got to get back on some regular guest stuff. Well, a lot of audience like to hear us talk about different things that we talk about then, but a lot of them like to hear guests as well. But anyway, in about 5 minutes, CL will be joining the lovely Michelle DeRoche, who is the station manager. I'm surprised she didn't fire Sean and Jado, man. Over that strike. Y'all got lucky, man. What do you mean I'm selling them down the road? Kirby knows you can't fire me. That's
It's his station.
No, it was that. No, we never did figure out what it was. No, it was just some kind of third party. We were playing too much stuff, is what it is, and I think something just got hung up somewhere along the line, and it ticked them off. But when we do that shows, when we're going to be playing a lot of stuff, I'll make sure we have an email sitting up top where I can see it. Because they said if we'd have caught it and turned it off, they wouldn't.
Did you get any answers for the trivia questions for the audio?
Oh, I did. I got yes, no all over the place, but you're gonna have to pick a number.
Let's do that randomly with a dice.
Yes, here we go, people. So since so many of y'all got the proper answer, Jay's gonna pick the number. You better hope you said yes on that number too.
Number 3.
Number 3. Who is number 3? Nope. New number 3 said no. You got to pick another one.
All right.
Sorry, number 3. Wrong answer. Well, I mean, it was 50-50 chance.
Number 12.
Number 12. Number 12 said yes. Number 12, where are you from?
That is correct.
California. Oh, we don't send stuff to California. I'm sorry.
Not only was there a concept, there were 2 working models, a Type 1 and a Type 2. The Japanese deployed them in before World War II. And then one of them, the Type 1 model, actually launched a plane just a few hours before the attack was announced on the Japanese Navy ships. They were the spotters.
No. Go ahead. Just send me your information. Yeah. Where you need it to be sent to. Yeah, just send it. No, you don't pay for anything. Just send it to me, and I'll send it out. I got to go out. Matter of fact, I'm going out tomorrow. So if you get it to me tonight, I'll send it out tomorrow. Yeah, at this time of year, probably about 3 or 4 days. From here to Cali, maybe 5. It's what do you mean you want to come get it? Autographed by who? What? Well, tell you what, if you really want to come get an autographed copy, I'll keep the copy. And I'll be in LA in April, maybe sooner, but I'll be in April for sure. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm saying. You can stop by and I'll sign the copy for you. And you can meet some of the famous, crazy people I hang out with. Well, you just got lucky. That's all because you're in Cali. Somebody's always writing to me. You wouldn't do that for me. Do you live in New York? I'm over here in Cali. I ain't gonna be in New York. And you didn't win. She did. So actually, I'm not sure if it's a he or a she, to be honest with you. I didn't specify sex, and then all I got is the last name. So no, but we got to go really. So y'all go over and check out The Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche. Our guest's going to be CL Thomas. CL Thomas does the Gate on Tuesday nights. She's a fun show. She's a lot of fun to listen to. She's a pretty well informed young lady. No, she's got her stuff together. I don't go hang out with him too much because I make some of the newer hosts nervous. Yes. Why is he here? Even some of the older hosts, what's funny,
It's like when the principal walks into the classroom. You're wondering, is he here for the teacher or is he here for one of us?
Listen, I'll see you over there in a little bit, Heidi. I'm a join on from YouTube, but it's yeah, you know, oh no, that was no, it wasn't William Shatner. What are you talking about? Naked Gun 2.5. You're on crack. It was well, I can't think of his name now because you said that, but he used to be. He's a guy, Leslie Nielsen. That's who it was. Yeah, that's who it was. I am looking forward to the new Firefly. Yeah, Firefly season 2.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so y'all remind me on Friday night. We got a bunch of links for Friday night from on my Facebook page. One of them is a new clip of the new Star Trek Academy.
Oh, cool.
So, well, we're gonna view it together. I've already seen it. But we're gonna view it together, and we'll get everybody's opinion on it. And this version of what I've seen is much different than the original one I seen. The one that was so woke I almost fell out of my chair. This is a little different. So we'll see where it goes. Yeah. Oh.
So the new Firefly season 2 comes out in fall 2025. So coming soon. Or if it isn't already out. Is it already out?
I haven't seen it yet. No. So I'm assuming they're going to bump it to next year. Have you ever seen the last Firefly episode 14? I might go watch it. Watch it with your girlfriend. Yeah. She won't even watch it. She's like, the hell with that. No, it's not gross. It's nothing like that. It's just a little weird. I think Star Trek Academy comes out next year. I knew Strange New Worlds will be out back again next year.
Yeah, they're slated for 2 more seasons.
Yeah, so well, they ran into a problem. The way they timelined this out, they gave Pike 10 years from the time he started to the time the accident happens to him. And he hands over the Enterprise to Kirk.
Yeah, and I think by the time Kirk gets the Enterprise is like 25 or 30 years old already.
You know, and then see, and that's another problem because in the Star Trek manuals, when Kirk gets it, it just became 2 years earlier or 3 years earlier. It had been completed and was the new flagship. So it gets really sticky. There's a little kitschy witchy lore stuff there. Don't hold them to that because they didn't know how far out this was going to go. And no one had any idea that this was going to grow into the empire that it turned into.
It's a good show.
You know? And so they've taken a few liberties in Strange New Worlds, but not many. Not like Discovery did. No, Discovery was just sci-fi. It wasn't Star Trek.
It wasn't even sci-fi. I mean, it was mushrooms in space. I just didn't understand it.
Let's do some shrooms in space. That reminds me. What is that?
Space drive was driven by mycelium.
Oh, what was that? What is that? 2000 heavy metal. What the hell is the name of that? Heavy metal.
Heavy metal. Yeah, there's heavy metal 2000.
Yeah, they were doing. No, there was two of them. There was heavy metal, and then there was heavy metal 2000.
Yeah, the first was heavy metal where they do the plutonium Nyborg. They spill it on the floor and snort it with their ears and nose.
Yeah, they have the machine that puts it out. It's kind of cool. Yeah, people just stuff we've seen as we were kids. Go watch it. But we really got to go. So I want to thank everyone again for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. Hope you enjoyed the show. Again, any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, please feel free to write to Michelle DeRoche. She loves y'all dearly. And during the holiday season, she feels alone. She has nothing to do. So please send her some letters and some kind stuff and send some chocolate. Yeah, she likes chocolate.
Oh, yeah, chocolate is good.
Chocolate's good for everybody. Yeah, send chocolate. Yeah, y'all don't know. I ate a whole thing of Reese's before I came on here.
The Reese's Crispy Crunchy, formerly called the Crispy Crunchity Bar, is just heaven. It's like peanut, like Butterfinger and Reese's Cups had like a bastard child, and that's the result. You have to have one. They're awesome.
Anyway, we will see Jay and I will see y'all on Friday, and hopefully Sean, maybe Leah, and we may be having a new tryout host to come hang out with. Not so much a host, maybe a specialist might be a better word.
Oh, cool.
So, well, we're going to probably end up adding 2 or 3, maybe even 4 specialists to the show. But specialists don't mean they're going to be with us the whole show. Specialists are like, it's like an infomercial kind of thing. Yes, maybe that's not the best way to describe it, but it's like a news segment's just packed. And then they get to talk about it, and then Jay and I, whoever's with us, can talk to them for a little bit, and then send them on their way and talk a little bit more about whatever they were talking about, and then go on to the rest of our stuff. Well, I'm gonna start structuring the show a little bit more, but our schedules are kind of weird, and so what'll have to happen is we'll have to do some regular shows, but while we're doing those, we'll have to get shows so that they're scheduled for things that we're going to do in them. Yes, because everybody works. Yeah, and until such a time that just can support the 3 of us, or 4 of us, we have to do what we got to do. Well, Stephanie and I did it differently because it was the way she worked and I worked at the time. We were always online until 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah, it was killing people. I mean,
yeah. So it's just what it is. Well, no, we'll work it out. We'll get what we want. Eventually, we'll get some groupies with them. Well, I hate to call them groupies, but it's other people that come in and help us out. Yeah, interns is a better word, I guess. Yes.
It's part of the difficulty of having a 24/7 information center, like a radio station or whatever. It didn't used to be like that. TV stations and radio stations used to sign off, usually around 11:30, 11 o'clock, 12 p.m.
So y'all know, back in the day, this station used to go off at midnight. In 1998, at midnight. Was actually required by our provider. Star Spangled Banner thing came on. Oh, say, can you see flying jets?
Big test pattern and tone until 6 a.m. And it would blue, and then whatever the first episode show would be.
And then internet radio was invented. Yes, I was like, they let me lose. And And
Yeah,
then
look
cable,
out.
and then cable just went wild after that. They were like, Jesus. But we got to go, guys. And again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. And remember, if you get links and stuff you want for any of the shows, just send them to us ahead of time.
Especially in the
We'll
chat.
try to get them. Yeah, or in the chat. Yeah, we'll try to get them into the shows. Well, we talk about a lot of different things. But on that note, good night and go check out Outer Realm.